feel like I'm like on Oprah.
I know. Welcome to Oprah.
I'm not used to doing it in this setting.
It's like a talk show setting.
I know.
That's why I like it. I used to watch Conan O'Brien and like the Late Show with Jay Leno, and so I feel like I've been preparing for this my whole life.
I need a desk with a coffee.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that would be. That's all it's missing. True host style. All right.
Whoa. Anyway. All right.
This.
3, 2, 1, go. Oh gosh. Do you want your
Yes.
lemonade?
I would love a lemonade. Cheers.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Saturday Night Sleepover. I'm your host, Charli, and today we're joined by our regular guest, Caitlin. Hi. And we are doing it in her studio for her podcast, which is, you guys all know, the Wellness Mama podcast. But she was like, hey, we're recording an episode. Why don't you just come right after and we'll record after? So she's hot off the presses with her latest one, and it was like great. Straight into the next one.
It was the first episode for season 2. Ooh. So I decided we closed down the chapter for season 1. That has all been done, and we learned a lot, grew a lot. It was really, really interesting. But I'm excited to start in the new studio with season 2 and new guests and. We've had a lot going on in the past couple months.
Have you?
Yeah. Tornado and all that stuff. If you haven't listened to probably a few episodes back, you can check out all the craziness. But yeah, this is the space that we had everything moved into in the week where we didn't have a shop.
Oh,
yeah. So it's really cool to finally have it for its intended purposes, which is to record podcasts.
Yeah.
And you're seeing it at a very rough point right now. Like, as you can tell, the camera's facing this way, but if we were to turn it around, you would see some storage. The goal is to have a split room so that you can't see any of that. And so we'll have this space be totally usable in any form. We also do want to rent it out for people like counselors or people that want to rent for like an hour. They may not have like a full load of people that they see all the time, but if they can have a space
neutral
share, it's kind of might help make it a little more affordable for if we can all share this awesome space, then we can all get the benefit and not pay a lot of money. So
well, I mean, it's very cool in here.
Yeah,
it's way more fancy than my setup, and so I feel like I'm like, I don't know,
bougie.
Bougie, but I feel like I have to I don't know, be fancy.
I feel like it does
regular.
help with putting on a costume. I used to do speech and debate in high school, and we would always wear suits. And it was part of once you put on the suit, you automatically just felt more professional, and you could talk better. And so I always do feel like there is something about getting dressed and putting your best foot forward, and you kind of assume that character, because we do not have it all figured out.
No.
Don't let the green wallpaper fool you.
It does look good, though.
Yeah. It was easier than I thought it would be doing wallpaper. It's sticky. It's like a giant sticker.
Well, you also just got done with a trip too, right?
Yes, I went back home for my mother-in-law's memorial. It was good. I'm glad of course I didn't want to go. That's not the reason you ever want to go back home. But before this, I told myself I never wanted to go back. I'm like, the only way I'll get back is if somebody dies. And
oh, no.
But
did you have a good time, though?
I did. It was hot. I mean, it's hot here, but times 10 there. Mm-hmm. You walk outside and you just start dripping. I was like, this is disgusting. I don't know how people can do this. Sorry, Louisiana folk.
For
I don't know. Yeah, I must have
5 years.
gotten unacclimated to it, where I was like, oh, this is
it's too much.
I can't handle this. Even my husband was like, how do people live like this? And I was like, you did it for a long time and you loved it.
Yeah. That's funny. But it's just different climates, and you get used to it.
Yeah. The funeral was interesting. So my mother-in-law was cremated. And I didn't know. You'd figure there'd be some sort of regulations digging a hole and putting a box in it, or there might be you gotta have a permit or something. No, apparently you just dig a hole. She has a little plot, but you just dig a hole and put the box in. I I have not been to a ton of funerals in my life, I'll admit that, but like, it was just weird physically digging a hole and I mean, it was much simpler. It's a little box versus like a giant, you have to, if it was a casket, I think they would have to have a permit or something like that to like dig it up.
I think it depends on the cemetery that you...
Yeah, I don't know. You might know more about this than I do. I'm like...
The only thing that I know is because I have a coworker that
is involved in that stuff. Yeah. So my goal when I die, and it's funny, I always talk about it because I want everybody to know that I do not want to be embalmed. Mm-hmm. I do not want to have a casket. I want to be wrapped in a sheet and just put in the ground, straight up. And apparently it is illegal in many states to just put a body in the ground. They want it to be infused with formaldehyde before they put it in the ground, but then it won't rot. So why does it have to have chemicals? Well, don't we want it to like go back to the earth? I don't know. That's what I'm thinking.
I don't know the history behind it, but I do assume that like everybody just doesn't want to talk about death. So
they're like, if
you don't talk about it, then it doesn't happen.
This is just how we do it. And we haven't even been embalming for very long.
Yeah.
Maybe like 100 years. I don't know the history, but it's not very long.
Well, you're also from New Orleans, and isn't there like horror stories about cemeteries in New Orleans?
Yeah, so they don't bury people in the ground there because if you do, and it rains really hard, the casket will pop up out of the ground and it'll just like float down the way. Like my grandpa was a reporter and he has a story he did once. I've always told this. I was told this story as a young kid where he was standing and all the caskets were like floating in a river behind him, just like popped up floating down the way.
So terrifying.
So they usually bury people in like a mausoleum, which is like a little crypt, essentially, just a little building that everybody goes into it, and you have to like clear away clothes and stuff to like put the next dead person in. Like, yeah, there's like a list of names of people in these boxes.
So different.
Yeah, it's bizarre. But when I buried my grandpa when I was a little kid, the first funeral, he was in a wall, like a mausoleum. Like there was like. It was like a condo. Like they had different squares for all the bodies, and I was like, "This is really weird." Like if you're in a wall,
just like push the button and pull them out.
Yeah, like it was like a morgue almost. I was like, "This is not how I want to go." Like this, I do not want to live in a wall for eternity. Like that's. I'll have to go visit that wall when my grandma goes because I think they're gonna share the condo.
Oh no.
I like to talk about this stuff because it's like we don't talk about it.
Talks about it.
And I personally don't want to be cremated. That also freaks me out a little bit too. Like I don't want to be burned. I just want put me in the ground. But a few nights after returning home from the funeral, I had a dream that I had to bury bodies, and it occurred to me that it was because we literally went and did that. And then my subconscious was like, this is not.
Yeah, some more. Yeah. This is against what we thought was going to happen.
Yeah, it's funny. So yeah, it was a fun trip. I'm glad we did. We saw the movie Inside Out too.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Did your kids like it?
Oh yeah, they loved it. I loved it. It was I'm glad I haven't gone to the theater in long time. Mm-hmm. Just because it's like, because we went and we spent like $160 by the time you buy tickets and popcorn.
But when it's
that
hot outside, there's nothing
exactly.
Exactly.
We were like, all right, where can we go? But I justified it because we were the only people in the theater, and I was like, oh well, we just paid for a private showing.
Of course, that's
it was nice too because you could like talk and nobody was there,
Mm-hmm.
We're not very polite theater people, I guess.
I mean, I feel like there's not a lot of people in the theater almost every time I go these days.
Well, that's what the guy at the counter said. He's like, we're never busy. And I was like, that's kind of sad. I mean, there's a lot of employees here. How are y'all? Maybe the Friday night. I mean, I imagine it's expensive.
Or like opening night.
Night shows pay for everything.
Mm-hmm. But actually, the movies don't pay for a lot in the theater anyway, how much of the tickets are. Mm-hmm. The sales are all with the concessions.
Really?
That's how they make all their money.
The candy and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Is the market from there. Because actually, the licensing just to show a movie is very expensive.
Really?
Yeah, so you're probably going to, like, barely break even by your ticket sales.
Ticket sales.
That's how the business model works, I'm pretty sure. I only know somewhat because I understand what it's like to screen a movie.
Right. Yeah, that's what I imagine. It'd be very expensive just to own the rights to show it to people. Because, like, when you want to put, like, a movie or a song on YouTube or whatever, you have to have rights to it. All that stuff costs money. You can buy the rights. Did you know that? I talked to this guy, royalty exchange or something. So you can buy the royalties, and anytime someone uses that song in their movies, you get kickback. It's like you own a little, like a stock of a song or whatever, you know.
This sounds like a scam.
I know, right? I was like, that sounds interesting, but I didn't buy any. Don't take financial advice from me. So how have you been? I know you've been busy.
So busy. I've been, like, working way too much. But I was like, this sounds like crazy, but you'll understand. I was, like, talking to my body when I was trying to fall asleep last night. I was like, what do you need? And it was like, rest. And I was like, okay, I can't give that to you right this second.
You're going to have to wait a minute.
But it will be soon.
Oh, it will be soon. You do deserve rest. We do. Because you can't function if you're exhausted.
Yeah. Well, and I ran my foot over with a power washer. 3,000 PSI.
How did you do that?
I was just, you know, I'm a fat person. I can't see my feet. So.
Oh my gosh.
So it was an accident. But
they're under there somewhere.
My like until like yesterday and the day before, I was wearing compression socks yesterday and the day before, but before that, my feet would get so swollen and it would hurt so bad.
Oh no.
But it's been fine. So
when I went to Louisiana, I ate fried food like probably 3 times, and when I came home, my feet were so swollen. I was like, I can't ever eat like that anymore because my body does not like it. And my husband drove the whole way, and I'm like, I have to put my feet up. I can't do anything. I had to ride in the car.
How far away is it?
It's like a 10-hour drive, roughly, especially with like kids and stopping. And Sally doesn't do well in the car. She does not like car rides. She usually drools, like leaks, like a. It's disgusting. But I asked my friend about it, and I was like, Steph, my coworker, my co-owner, she was also a coworker, my partner. She said, try CBD, and I was like, all right, you know, like I'll try it. Freaking worked like a charm. Like no drool. She chilled the whole ride. It was no anxiety, because she said the drool is probably from being anxious. You know, like that's why she doesn't like the car. It makes her. I wasn't sure if it hurt her tummy, but that will all help with that. And I was like, would recommend.
So it chilled her out for the whole ride?
The whole ride.
Doug does so good in the car. He just
you're lucky.
Hangs out.
Yeah.
He loves it.
So we rented a car to go down there, and I was kind of nervous because she's definitely sheds. Like she's like white hair everywhere. I'm sure I have some on me, like, you know. But we didn't ask if we could bring the dog or not. We just did it. And then
bury somebody.
Bring the car, the dog in the rental car, and they're like, well, most people put the dog in the back in the trunk. And I'm like, what? People put their dogs in the trunk of like a SUV? That's not nice. I mean, maybe if they're like canine vicious animals, I don't know. Is that, I don't.
Well, when you said trunk, I was like immediately thinking like sedan. And I was like,
right,
that's
that sounds wrong. But like in the rear section, that's what they.
Well, I don't have kids, so
Yeah.
I just put the chairs down and he just has the whole.
In the back.
Yeah.
Well, that's normal. But like all the way in the back, like in the trunk part.
The chairs are all down, so it's
Oh
all
yeah,
one area.
he's got his own little resort.
So I don't.
Yeah.
I don't relate to, because they're not any humans that
Right?
need to be in this seat.
I just felt like she should be up front, because if she's car sick, being up front is the. I didn't want her to puke on me.
I mean, I know a lot of people, like their dogs will like sit on their lap while they're
my
driving
gosh.
too.
That sounds dangerous.
My dog will not. He just like paces in the car and like looks out this window and looks out that window. He'll like sit and watch out the window out the back.
What's going on? What's going on?
Yeah.
I am on patrol.
And he would sit in the back and then like try and like, get the...
We used to do the, we'd go, your tire is flat, pull over. That's mean. Don't do that to people.
Okay.
Don't lie to them. Make them try to pull over because their tire is flat.
Yeah. And you would think they would notice if their tire was flat.
I know, right? I don't think we ever actually achieved anybody pulling over, but we thought it was funny. It was like, you can't do prank calls these days, you know?
Oh, yeah, because everybody knows your number.
Yeah. They're not going to answer a private number.
Well, you could figure out a prank call for your voicemail.
My mom, I have a voicemail that kind of says like, hey, thanks for calling, and gets my mom every time because she thinks she's talking to me. I'm like, you don't pay attention. Like, you're listening to the full thing. It says, I'm not here. Text me. Don't leave a voice message. I won't listen to it.
Yeah, I hate voice messages. I'm so upset actually because for like maybe a decade of my life, I intentionally left my voicemail full.
So that you couldn't even get more.
I couldn't get any voicemails.
That's smart.
And then Apple gave you unlimited storage or something and allowed people to leave me voicemails again, and I'm not happy about it.
Oh man. Yeah, because it's never anything good.
I know.
It's your mom. Call me.
Yeah, exactly.
That could have been a text.
Yeah, you can text me. Or if it's really that important, you could send me an email, or I'll call you back if I am expecting like some call that I knew that and I missed it. I will call that person back.
Right.
But if it's just spam or whatever, haha, sucker, you can't even get a hold of me.
Yeah, I don't get a lot of spam calls because I haven't changed my phone number to like a Northwest Arkansas number, so I know if anybody's calling me with my area code.
Yeah,
they're not. They don't know me.
Yeah.
Because I would have had their number saved, and they're probably a telemarketer. I'm like, ha.
Gotcha.
But if somebody's calling me from a 479 number, I'm like, oh, this must be somebody that actually wants to reach me.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. That's how I screen calls too, because I don't have a number from around
Yeah,
here
it's
either.
actually brilliant when you really think about it. You're like, I might not change it.
Or since I've lived in other places too. Like if it's an area code from that place too, I'm like, oh, that's a real person. Must be a real person.
Must be, yeah. That's a good point. It's funny the things we do in this technological age.
Yeah, I saw a video once that it was like, I feel like our technology's going backwards. Like we used to be so excited to go get the mail, or now we're excited to go get the mail. We used to be so excited to get an email. Mail was nothing but junk, and now email is nothing but junk, and we're so excited to get the mail.
Get real mail. I want to be the person that sends letters to people. I always think about that. I'm like, I need to write them a letter, and then I never do.
I wanted to be the aunt that sends all of her nieces and nephews birthday cards.
Oh, I don't do that.
I'm so bad at birthdays.
I send my niece Venmo. I send her money on Venmo for her birthday.
Nice.
I don't send my nephew money though. He's not. She's older. She just turned like 24.
Oh.
And I started doing it when she was like 18 or 19, when I had money to like actually share with young people. And I was like, she's young. It's hard being young. Go buy a beer, whatever it is. But my nephew's 13. He's not gonna buy beer.
No, he's gonna buy Fortnite stuff.
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah. He doesn't need money. He'll be all right. I'll send him a gift.
Go outside.
That is your gift.
You also just went to a comedy show, right?
Yeah.
You missed Pod Circle.
I know. It was worth it. It was a fun show. I was sad that the comedian that I really wanted to see, Whitney Cummings, wasn't there.
Oh, why
She
not?
missed the plane or something. They posted a picture of her at the airport, and I'm like, meh.
Boo.
Boo. But it was funny. It wasn't, the comedians that were there aren't my, like, oh, I love these guys, they're the best. But it was just like, oh, a comedy show at the Amp? That sounds fun. Let's go and check it out. But it was good. It was, I shouldn't have let my husband buy the tickets because he did not buy them from the correct website. He bought them from ticketsales.com.
Oh, no.
And I just, you just want to let them do something, you like plan a date or whatever, and you're like, yeah, you got this. Friggin' paid $150 in service fees, $75 per ticket. So we paid double what we should have and he was like, I bought it from the right website. I'm like, no, you didn't. He's arguing with me. I'm like, but you didn't, because I could go and buy 2 tickets right now and it only cost me this much. And I was like, but it's my fault for not like doing due diligence and like trusting him, I guess. I don't know. Okay. So I was kind of miffed when I first got there because I realized how much we spent on these tickets, and I was like, try to have that much fun. Try to have that much fun.
Are you the person that tries to take home food from the buffet?
No, it's just like a cookie, maybe. I'll put it.
Oh my gosh.
We went to an all-you-can-eat sushi restaurant once in Vegas. And the way that they did it was you could order as much as you want, but if you had leftovers, you had to pay for them. So you would only order what you could eat. Like, that was the rules. Like, it was all you can eat, but you got to eat it. So that was a really good way to do it, I thought, because you weren't going to be wasteful. But it was good because it wasn't all like most sushi buffets. It's like tons of rice and like little thin fish, because they're just trying to maximize the offerings. But this was like actual good sushi that, like you got your full hunk from.
Your hunk of fish.
Your hunk of fish. It was a real hunk of fish, not like a sliver.
Do you guys watch Alone, speaking of hunks of fish?
No, but we watched, not Alone, but we watched the one where it was like they build shelters. It was like a spin-off from it where they had to they were given a task and they had to build a shelter out of something. But yeah, I think we would like it.
I think you would like it. And the new season just started and everybody's catching fish right now. So I think, I don't think that's ruining anything.
Yeah, that's why I married Jed, because I knew he could catch fish for me and feed me if shit hit the fan. I always think about that. I'm like, it'll be all right.
Yeah. Colton is the same way, except for he's type 1 diabetic, so.
Yeah, that's really difficult. Because so how would you get insulin if there was no pharmaceutical insulin? Would you have to It
doesn't exist.
You could, how they got it originally was they would bleed horses, or maybe that's thyroid hormone. One of them, they would get it from horses' blood. I feel like it was insulin. They would filter it out somehow.
Well, I mean, they do base insulin off of horses a lot of time.
We're gonna have to look up the history of insulin. That way we know if we needed
it. I don't know what it is.
Insulin. We could just slice some horses.
He's looked at natural remedies or whatever that would help, but
whenever people complain about GMOs, I'm always like, except insulin. It is. Do you know how they make it?
Go for it.
Okay, it's really exciting. I love this stuff. So what they did is they inserted the gene, or I don't know, into a bacteria that produces the insulin. So it has these vats of bacteria that are just genetically modified to produce insulin as a byproduct. So they make this vat of insulin just easily because it's just pumping it out because it's in the bacteria, the little plasmid circle, and they inject it. So yeah, GMOs are not all bad.
Especially if it helps you survive.
Yeah, really. We like Colton a lot.
Maybe we should figure out how to GMO.
Yeah, we probably should.
Bacteria.
We probably should do that. It probably isn't as hard as you think. We'll have to do some
I know
research.
I have great friends.
Yeah. All right, bacteria. Here's your insertion.
Yeah, she likes making sourdough, and she's a scientist.
DIY insulin, But so it's things that you got to know. Okay, have you ever seen Outlander?
No.
I think that's what it's called. Yeah, there's time traveling.
Oh yeah.
Into the back. So she's a nurse, but she time travels back to ancient times, and then practices as a doctor because she kind of knows what she's talking about. And then she goes back to the regular times because she's hopping back and forth. And then she picks up some like penicillin, and she only has like a couple vials to like bring with her because she's going back because her lover lives in the ancient times. And so, yeah, you gotta go back to him. But she's prepared, and she has the penicillin and stuff, and she only has the 2 vials. And then she learns how to make it. So she's got all this stuff, like, because it's mold, they distill it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if she can make penicillin, then we could probably make insulin. I mean, it was on TV, but somebody did it.
You're a scientist.
Yeah.
And you like bacteria.
Exactly. I was watching this weird show last night. It was like Unexplained Mysteries. And apparently there was these gelatinous blobs that fell from the sky in Washington, I think.
When?
1994. Like,
what?
Yeah. Like, it was like, they thought it was maybe like jellyfish particles that had been like sucked up from the ocean and then deposited everywhere. But it was this clear, gelatinous, like, goo. And they weren't sure what it was. And they were trying to send it to like all the scientists to figure out, like, well, what is it? Is it human? Is it cellular?
Man-made.
Like, what's it made out of? And they never could figure out what it is. And there was this one scientist that was studying it in like the department of something or other, and then his sample got stolen by people in black suits. And I was like, well, what were we doing, guys? What was this gelatinous goo?
Yeah. That's terrifying.
Yeah. And it's crazy because the scientists usually are trying to do the right thing. It's just there's other people in charge trying to be.
What do you think they're trying to do?
So what I think it was military biological warfare experiment to see if it would be a good way to get people sick, just to like deposit this goo that people touch, because apparently the people that were touching it were getting sick, like getting like, I don't know, there wasn't a lot of stories about people getting sick, but it was on TV.
Yes, it's on TV.
It was a new Netflix show. I think it's new.
Oh, it's
Unexplained, something or other, Unexplained Mysteries. But I would like to do more research on this goo, because I'd never heard of it. And then I was thinking, what if we had social media in the 90s? We would have known about the goo. Now they couldn't get away with goo. I think we would all hear about it, be on TikTok.
Yeah, but also I feel like everybody's panicked about everything now that we have social media too. So, like...
Because they can't silence us.
Yeah.
We're not easily controlled because we can have our own podcast.
Yeah, that is true. Well, yeah. I agree, and I also think that there's like... I don't know. I just think that there's groups... Well, you can be controlled, too, from social media, too.
Oh, that is a good point.
Think about all the people who are getting Botox now that, like... I mean, I'm not against Botox, whatever.
Right.
If it makes you feel better, it makes you feel better. But, like, it is a lot more, like, every day, every person... Like, 1 in 5 people you know probably is doing it now.
Yeah.
Unless you live in Utah, then it's 5 in 5.
Is it that bad?
Yeah.
Getting the tox. I think I'm gonna try to age gracefully, but like I don't know. What if I do get really old and wrinkly? That's gonna happen one day, and I just have to come to terms with it, I guess.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
But also, I come at a place from like I know my mom looks really good for her
Yeah,
age,
my mom looks pretty good too. I'm like, all right.
So I'm not worried about it.
Yeah. And I already got a man. I'm cute.
That's funny. But at Pod Circle, it was really good. I was like there, and normally you're there with me, but like Ty wasn't there, and you weren't there.
Oh
and it was
no,
just
you're
me,
like,
and
well,
I was
I'm
like,
here.
I was like, hello.
Yeah.
Here I am. I know what I'm talking about. And
I'm pretending to be in charge.
I was uncomfortable, but it was fine.
Did you have any of like the pamphlets and stuff that?
No.
See, Ty, you can't not be there and not give us the pamphlets. That makes it look more official.
No, it's okay. I cannot go because I think he had like way too much on his plate.
He did. He is a very busy man. That's what happens when you run a business and a nonprofit. and you're trying to save the world one podcast at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Was there a lot of new folks there?
Yeah.
Yeah?
There was probably only, like, 3 people who'd been there before.
Okay.
And then, like, there was probably, like, 10 or 15 people there.
Was there a planning committee, or they just didn't do one in July?
We just didn't do one.
Okay, good. Because I was thinking about that. I was like, oh, did I miss that too? But I didn't. I'm
no,
glad.
because Ty wasn't here.
Yeah. Because I was thinking about it more about decorating. And I was going to ask, what's my budget for decorating? Because, I mean, that is an important question. You know, because we could do a lot with a little, probably. I'm very good at budget decorating.
Am I surprised? Yeah. No, you're very good at budget everything.
You have the girl for the job, don't worry. Oh my gosh. Well, that's good. I'm glad it was successful. I'm glad that people are feeling that they actually have a place where they can share their voice and ask questions. And I told a friend about it. She said their husband's starting a podcast, or he's doing one. He might have a few episodes recorded. I was like, go check out Pod Circle. It's nice to be able to say, like, here's a great resource. And I don't have to be the resource. You know, like, because I want to help everybody with their podcast. Like, I love it. But at the same time, I'm busy, you know. Like,
well, I think it's more than just podcasting, because in general, like, people who make podcasts are pretty cool people. So I feel like it's more than just, like, you're going to make connections, like, and you'll find somebody that can be on your show. Or you can also find somebody who is a, like, mobile notary and also does sound baths.
Oh, that's really cool. While you're at it.
Yeah, like, or, like, what, that's, like, a real thing that happened.
So did you pick up any guests for your podcast?
Yeah, potentially.
Potentially? Nice. Nice.
We're working it out.
I love it. I did a meet and greet with, or there's this functional medicine meetup that they do every couple months or so, and it's a bunch of, like, holistic type doctors and stuff. I should send your doctor
Heather.
Heather information about it. I have her card still. But we hosted it in May and met a whole bunch of people, and I got all their numbers and everything, and I was like, all right, I am going to reach out to you about doing a podcast. And then tornado. So that got pushed back a little further, but now I'm really excited to get back to that, where, you know, figuring out when they can record, and, you know, that's going to be fun. So I have a lineup soon that I will start working on. It's
for season 2.
Yeah, for season 2, because
what's different about season 2 than season 1?
Mostly the recording studio. We learned a lot. I think that it's gonna hopefully sound and look better, but it might sound and look the same. I don't know. I've got this nice light. I feel like it adds a little extra bedazzle, razzle dazzle. But it's going to be the same, like, as far as interviewing local folks, mostly people that are running some sort of business that is cool, interesting, fascinating. We really like the, like, practitioners. I like hearing about how people are helping people, because I feel like it kind of breaks down the walls of before you actually make an appointment with somebody. You know, you're like, I want help with XYZ, but how are you going to help me with that? And because there a lot of times it's like, that's one hurdle to get through, and then it's the cost and the, you know, like, do I even like you? So it's kind of cool that you can meet people and hear about them. Our most recent one we just recorded today, she was a mental health counselor. So it's really cool. I'm like, what can you expect before you make an appointment? You know, like, what happens? Like, because that's scary when you're at that point. You're like, I'm looking for somebody to hire for something very personal. What is that going to look like? Is it going to be easy? Am I going to like this person? So I think it'd be cool for people to meet her in a, you know, zero conflict, you know, way, where you can just kind of see, well, what's your story? Why'd you want to get into this? It was really cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Did you listen to yesterday's episode that I recorded with Heather and Kendra?
No, I need to.
Yeah.
Is it a good one?
Yeah, it's good. She talks about all the stuff that she does.
Oh, goody. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, that'll be really handy to listen to that one before I have her on, because it'll be great to hear more about her story. their stories. I think that that'd be really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and well, because she came to Pod Circle in the last month,
right?
And then
I was there. Yeah,
she came this week or last week too, and she was like, I wanted to go because between that now and then I've been on 2 podcasts, and look at me go. And I'm like, yeah, look at you go.
That's huge. Who else was she on?
She was just, so Ty was at an event, and she went on Ty's podcast.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. So I forgot what I was going to say. It was something about being on podcasts. It's gone, though.
You know who is on my podcast sometimes? Angela.
Yeah.
And how's that going?
Oh, that's going great. I got to meet her for the first time, and I was like, oh my gosh, you're so cool. Like, and
she's way too cool to be my friend, but she still is.
And I got to try all of the syrups that she makes, and I love them.
So we're talking about my friend Angela, who is
the Xylem syrups. And she is so great. I love the flavors that she has. I feel like they're really versatile. You know, it's not just because I usually use like a simple syrup in like my coffee, or you know, that's kind of like my most common application. But then she has the recipes on the back that you can do all kinds of different things. I was like, this is really cool.
Yep.
I want to make something. She has one. It's cowboy candy with the jalapeno in it.
I haven't tried that one yet.
Oh, it is really, really delightful. She said apparently makes a great margarita, and I'm like, I might have to try that.
I bet it does.
For, you know, product research. You know? But we talked to her. I'm hoping that she'll be able to come out for the big grand reopening party that we're going to do. And she'll do like a little sip and shop kind of deal, which I think will be a lot of fun. You know, people can kind of try different things, and we got our sign this week, so that's a big deal.
And I demanded on social media.
I know.
So they did a post on the new sign, and they're like, look at our new sign. And they used some random, like, trending audio. And I was like, you guys, I demand that you use Ace of Base, I Saw the Sign, and make a post about it. And they did.
Yes, it worked great. Except for some reason, the music didn't transfer over to Facebook, which was really disappointing.
Boo.
I know. I don't understand. They're the same company, why they can't work together.
Yeah, well, I think it's licensing something or other.
But then, like, let me know it's not going to play so I can do it properly on that way. But it's okay. People still liked it, even though it didn't have the music. And I was like, it's better with music.
Yeah.
I have so many ideas for the social media stuff, because it's always coming, but it's just like, okay, you have to like plan it. It's all, it's a full-time job trying to figure out social media. So we're doing a social media 101 class in July. It's like going to be a Saturday from 6 to 8. So it's Saturday, July 20th. It's going to be just a way for like entrepreneurs to connect and kind of like talk about the humdrum of actually like doing social media. Ideally be able to meet and connect and help each other, you know, like, oh, I'll comment on your stuff. You know, I liked your page. You comment on mine. You know, that would be a really good mashup for people to kind of help each other and learn and grow.
That's awesome.
But we're also going to do an opportunity event so people can understand how we can help them make money at home, because we have the affiliate program.
Oh, right.
And so that's, a lot of people are always asking, like, oh, I really want to work from home job, but I don't really want to do anything, you know? And it's like, well, here's an opportunity where there's no overhead, you have no fees or memberships or anything like that. It's straight up commission based on links sales, like clicked link sales, you know. So if you can share a link, you can make some money, you know. So it's really, really low bar entry to get into figuring out, and it's really just a matter of, you know, sharing what you like, what you use and love. And so we're going to help teach people how to do that, how to actually make it like a sustainable, realistic way that you can pull in a little bit of money, or up to really the sky's the limit, because we have rates like 15% commission at our highest like earning potential, and that is a very, very decent chunk of something where you have zero overhead, zero website, like you don't have to do anything except share a link. I mean, there's tons of influencer type people that's how they they do things. And so to be able to work with a company that works with like many different brands is pretty unique, because usually you have to work with each individual brand. Instead, you have an umbrella through the Wellness shop where you can do anything that we sell in the shop, and we'll ship it out and take care of anything like that. So just kind of showing people about the opportunity that we have, that there's ways to grow, but not only in that manner, also if they're running their own business, just like how do you use social media to really increase, people looking at you, unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And like, it's just good to like do things in real life with people.
Yep.
I think that helps, like if you stem your social media off of real life stuff instead of like just like posting graphic or trendy whatever.
Yep.
Like
that's one of my biggest tips is use your face.
Yeah. Yeah. Be a real person on the internet. Be a real person. Don't be an internet on the person.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. It has to be real life. It has to be relatable. I think that everybody has a story to share. Everybody has something special and unique. And I always tell people, I'm like, people don't buy things, they buy people. If they like you, they like what you like, they want to buy what it is you like, and so that way they can have something to, y'all can talk about together. It's a whole thing.
Although I will say, I do buy the deodorant at Wellness, and it works really good.
And so then you can be like, try this deodorant, and like send them a link, and they'll be like, oh, I love that deodorant, and then you get commission.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you buy the deodorant, get me commission.
Yeah. Let me know. It is awesome. I like it too.
It works really good, and I have like, this is maybe TMI, but I have sensitive armpits.
I do too. I really do.
It works.
I have tried so many, and I end up with like a rash, or it's just, ugh. But yeah, no, it's my favorite one to recommend. It's the Little Seed Farm. But don't buy it from them, buy it from us. We'll send you a link. We'll put a link in this for the deodorant. You click that link, you buy the deodorant.
Yeah. I just became an affiliate, guys.
Yes. It's easy. Just go to the website. It's the wellness.shop. Scroll all the way to the bottom. It says affiliate. And click that, and then you can create your own
I don't think I'm an affiliate for real. I just am going to post the deodorant link because I like it.
If not, you can post my link.
Okay. Yeah, so that's good.
Yeah.
And are you guys going to like start, like have you noticed that you have more room that you had in your own place, so now you're going to like get different stuff in there?
I think that we have like 200 more square feet, I think, and it's set up a little bit differently, but I do believe we'll be able to fit more tables in our community space, so we'll be able to have bigger workshops. Everyone always asks, like, do you have more stuff in here? And I'm like, no, we really don't. There's not more stuff. I think that because the ceilings are so high that it's like an optical illusion. It looks like it's like abundant and overflowing. But yeah, we're filling out, like we're getting like more of the bulk deodorant refills, so that way we have like 5 cents now that you can refill your jar with. We're adding a new shampoo line, so we're excited about that. I haven't tried it yet, but it's like it's a more bougie brand. I forget what it is. I want to say it's like Moon or Luna or something like that. But it's a little pricier, but it's supposed to be like super nice. But yeah, I'm excited to try it. And then we added a few more like bulk powders. Like we have baking soda and washing powder now, because a lot of people like to like make their own laundry soap, so they can kind of get their base ingredients from us if they'd like to do that. Plus we can use it to like make all of our creativity things, because that's part of the reason why we have this space, is that there's space to make stuff. We can make soap and make things. There's a full kitchen that we have access to that we can get crazy in and do all kinds of fun things. So I'm like, we're going to make lotions. Yeah, maybe some insulin. No. On refill.
Wellness shop, your insulin refillery. Oh my gosh, you're going to get sued by Big Pharma.
I know, right?
We've got to get you out of this.
I'm just kidding. We'll never do that. The black coats will come after me.
Yeah, for sure. There's too much money to be made in keeping people alive.
I know, right? Well, they are very important people.
Yeah. Yeah. So, that's cool. You got all kinds of cool stuff coming up.
Yeah. I guess it's just, I feel kind of like the Energizer Bunny, just like, all right, just keep going forward. Because we had already had a bunch of plans, like, in motion. It's like, well, we just can't skip a beat. You know, we had 2 weeks off. They weren't really off. It was 2 weeks of, like craziness.
Pick up literal pieces.
Yeah, but literal pieces. Yeah, like literally like knocking glass out of everything. I feel like we're still coming across it every now and then. You're like, oh, that has glass on it. It was like we had makeup samples in like a little basket, and when you peek through it, it was like, oh, we needed to take all of those out of the basket and then put it into a new basket and be cleaned out with all the things.
That's what I like. I was like, nobody's telling me what to do whenever we were helping you. So I was like, I'm just going to take things out of baskets and wipe them.
That's the best way to do it, yeah. Because that was anything that was containing anything had stuff in it. And I was like, oh, gosh. But yeah, I think we've sold all the tornado-ravaged goods. We put them on 50%, like, get it out of here, you know, you can have it. You know? Most of it was fine. It was just like packaging, you know. Yeah. But
the product was okay.
Right.
Just, it looked
right. The Band-Aids still work just fine, you know. Yeah.
Well, good. Sounds like you guys are bouncing back.
Yeah,
for sure.
Really are.
And when's your big party going to be?
We haven't planned the date yet. We need to talk to the Chamber of Commerce because we want to do like ribbon cutting and everything. But we're planning on August. So
cool.
We're just going to, because that way we can do it right. Like, we really want to notify, like, the newspaper and the freaking news. We'll tell everybody, you know, like, we're reopening. Come, you know, support, you know, NWA
Well, you should, like, use it. To your advantage.
Never miss a catastrophe, you know.
Well, I didn't mean it that way, but you said it that way.
It's true. If you don't laugh, it'll make you cry, you know. If not, you're like, okay, well, we're just going to propel forward, you know. Just keep moving. We're doing it. And it's all worked out beautifully. We have a bigger sign than we expected because we were able to adopt the old guy's sign that was in the tenant before us. We just face plated the existing signs. We were able to reduce, reuse, recycle. And it's all, and it was cheaper than we expected, you know, with doing all that. Because what we were originally going to get was like a small little sign. Now we have a big sign. And so, and it was less money. So that really...
Speaking of signs, I noticed that there's like, it looks like there's going to be a new Mexican restaurant by the airport.
Ooh.
When I was on my way over here.
All right. There's not a lot out there, which is surprising. We'll have to try it out.
I was like, I just saw a sign. I was like... Caitlin is going to get so much business now.
Need some Mexican. Yeah. There's a new restaurant in downtown Rogers. I've met the owner a couple times. He comes and shops with us. It's Flashback Pizza, and they do like arcade games and all kinds of. It's like a retro arcade / pizza shop. So I definitely want to go check them out.
I miss stuff like that.
Yeah, I was like, that sounds really fun. And they do shakes and stuff too. So it's like
we should go there.
Yeah, we should definitely go there. Maybe not on a Friday or Saturday because it feels like that'll probably be really crazy busy. But yeah, that would be fun.
What are you doing after this?
I don't know. I was probably going to go by the shop for like an hour. And then I was going to go home. Because my kids are at home by themselves.
Oh.
Well, but my Toby, my oldest is there. He's a good babysitter.
He's a good noodle.
Yeah.
Is Jed working then?
Yeah, he works on Sundays. It's not Saturday. Yeah, it's kind of nice because I have like a free day before you like step into the craziness of the weekend.
Yeah.
But, anywho.
Yeah.
I have to use the restroom.
Okay. Well, then that's a good spot to pause.
This tea or lemonade was really good.
Yeah. Well, thank you for listening, and like, share, subscribe, and we'll put a deodorant link in the show notes. And say the Instagram and social media for Wellnest so that you can...
Yes. The Instagram is thewellnest.shop. It's WELLNEST, like a bird's nest. And the podcast is on Spotify and Apple and YouTube. It's The Wellnest Mamas, MAMAS. And we also have an Instagram that's The Wellnest Mamas. And we have a Facebook page, and we have
That's a lot of social media.
I know, we have a lot. We have a lot of social media. You can find us, or you could just message and say, "Where are you? How do I find you?"
Yeah, that's all the things. Anyway, go to sleepoverpod.com if you want to get in touch with me. And thanks for listening. Okay, love you. Bye.